Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash. Double honors unto my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and safety to all the sincere Akim that's out here pushing his word and truth and in all sincerity. Shalom. All right. And, we just got finished wrapping up camp here. And, through the spirit, I just wanted to, in the spirit, just wanted to, carry on in that spirit. It was a lot of things was said. It was a very heavy day at camp today. Today was a heavy day in the spirit. So, yeah, man, I can't even say that. A lot of our people actually do live under a rock. The Middle East is going through it right now. Israel has been under attack by the Palestinians or the Hamas, and that's created as what the Prime Minister over there said. He said that this is a state of war, not even a state of emergency. It's a state of war that's occurring over there. I don't have a phone, so it's just falling on this. So, that's created a lot. Hey, man, hundreds of people have died and thousands have been injured, and can't even count. Who knows the amount of damage from the bombing and so on and so forth. So that's major, man. Then today you had 3 earthquakes in different regions. One being in Afghanistan. So the scriptures tell us, the Lord told us in Matthew the 24th chapter that what? These shall be the signs of his coming. What is that? Earthquakes in diverse places, wars, rumors of war. Because right now, it's a rumor that the Palestinians in Israel or whoever, Iranians and so on and so forth, might actually outbreak in war. Time will tell as it develops, but all of this is showing how the Lord's words are true. All right. It said that there shall be wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, pestilence, uprisings of nations against nations. These are all signs of the coming. Luke, the 21st chapter, the 25th verse, I believe, says what? That there shall be signs in the sun, in the stars, roaring of the waves. Well, this month alone, we have two eclipses. Last month, the last month's full moon was a harvest moon, which was the last super moon of the year. Okay, so again, these are all signs that the Lord said that He would show us that what? These are the beginnings of sorrows. Okay, and one thing that I wanted to speak on, I guess, in transitioning in this as well, is understanding the disputations that you're going to experience with your family. All right, your loved ones. We were just having a heavy conversation, and I'm not going to go into all the details of what we were saying, but in the spirit, it was edifying enough for me to say, hey, I'm going to do a lesson on this, And, the scriptures say, the Lord said, think not that I come to send peace, but I come forth to send a sword, right? And the division, so there shall be 3 against 2, 2 against 3, the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, the father against son, so on and so forth. These were all things that the Lord prophesied unto us that would happen in these times. So we shouldn't count it strange when these relationships or these points of relationships within our lives are not operating at the fullness of which we have, that, as a word was used, within our own expectations within it. See, we have expectations because we have understanding. We have an understanding of how things are supposed to be. how a man and a woman should be, how, you know, the reverence between a father and a son, and et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, the Lord already told us that he didn't come forth to send peace but a sword. All right, divisions is part of it. So when you start to experience these different divisions amongst yourself, count it not strange. Although it's not comfortable, you know, it's never comfortable to have you know, having bad blood with your woman. No matter what, it just seems like it's just never right. But you know what? There's always a message that the Lord is showing us. And as part of that is just understanding that this is not our rest, man. This is not our rest. This is, and we have to make sure, I'll say it this way, we have to make sure that our expectations involving those around us is in line with the spirit. You know, you can expect, you know, this woman to do this, that, and the third, but you may be expecting something from a woman that she's incapable of doing, you know, and that's okay, and that's understandable. But this is where, you know, temperaments and wisdom, knowledge, and understanding come into play. All right. So again, as the scriptures say, you know, basically think not it's strange, you know, understand these people, they're going to come they you know, and a word that was being used too is betrayal. That the betrayal is going to come. Now, you know, one of my favorite rappers, if you're familiar with the rapper Fabulous, he said on a mixtape, I think it was the There's No Competition, right? I forget which one. If you're a Fab fan, you know what I'm saying. He said, which was one of my favorite bars by him. He said, friends, he said, enemies stab you, basically something to the extent of enemies stab you in your back, and friends stab you in your back, and your enemies stab you in your, somehow how he worded it, but in the spirit of it, it was basically pointing to the point of, you know, friends and enemies will stab you in the back. They'll stab you. You'll be let down. No matter how. And you know, who said that? You know, don't take this as if it's gospel, but there's a level of wisdom in it. That's why, you know, the script, I mean, like I said, I'm only quoting it, but don't take it to heart. Use it with wisdom. But the scriptures speak about basically, not the scriptures, you know, the world says, you know, about attachments. Your pains it comes from attachments. And, you know, in these times that we're in, you know, you got to manage the expectations of these attachments that we have occurred along the way. And sometimes we are effing it up by having higher expectations, you know. If the people in your life, like for instance, if you got a ball player in your, like, let's just say that's like you expecting to, like, you know, Pat Beverly, right? You know, Pat Beverly is in the NBA, but you know, ain't nobody looking to lead their team with Pat Beverly. Like, he's the lead star. He's the LeBron James of his team, man. And if a coach put him in that position, then they're basically setting themselves up to fail. You should only expect 20 points out of a player that's capable of getting 20 points. And a lot of what I'm learning, and a lot of brothers was sharing, and you know, our apostles and elders have been saying this for years as well, is you start to learn that, like, we don't really got shit on this side. You know, it'll never be what you're looking for it to be, because we are in our captivity as unto this day. It just won't be right. If it was right, we would be in the kingdom. Your woman would be in order. Your woman would have a heart towards you. Your children, your parents would be in order. We would basically be in a new covenant. Seriously. But that's not the case. It's just not. And that's the reality. See, the scriptures speak about strong delusions. But we can't fall victim to the delusions of which these people are under. We just have to have realistic expectations of what we see in the spirit. All right. And I'm saying that in the spirit to whoever may watch this, because we're all victims of this. We're all victims of wanting something to be more than what it is. You know, you want that relationship to be better, Because who doesn't want a relationship to be better? Who goes into a marriage or having a woman and wanting it to just be stagnant and whatever? You have an expectation of progression and growth. Same thing with your family. You know, there's an expectation of growth and liveliness that you would want with your mother, your father, your siblings. And, you know, even with me, man, I can speak on that, man. You know, last year because, man, we're loving people, man. You know, we're Israelites. You know, we want peace and love. Like, we're not like these other nations. You know, we're not warmongers and looking to, Jake loves to highlight the focal point of the warriors and so on and so forth of the scriptures, like King David. But King David wouldn't have been in a pressed situation like that if there was no Goliath, if there was just peace. We typically just want peace as a nation, specifically us as men. You know, so, sometimes you find yourself in these scenarios and situations where, your expectation is higher because why? We've been brought into this word, and this word has a high expectation on us. Key term. And that's what my bishop and my cam was just speaking on, is that we can't put our expectations that the Lord holds on us on these people, because these people don't have the spirit. They don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They don't have the spirit. The Lord's not supping with them. All right? That's our mothers. That's our fathers. That's our siblings. That's our women. That's our, even hell, in most cases, that's our children. All right? Whatever. Hey, my spirit is always this. And I pray that the Lord keeps the spirit on me. And I pray that, is whatever the Lord's will is, I pray the Lord give me the spirit to deal with that. Because you can have a woman and you can love your woman, but that doesn't mean the Lord loves that woman for you. Maybe you don't know something about that woman. You could love her with all your heart, right? But the Lord's will might be to destroy her. See? So you got to have a mind frame of understanding the will of the Lord and understanding where He's putting His expectation on higher than others. Everybody out here doesn't have the same expectation of the Lord. Some people, the Lord said that the Lord said basically that He doesn't expect most of our people. He knows the 2/3 are never going to get it together. So He says basically, why should they're going to revolt more and more. His expectation of them is not that they're going to get better. He's expecting them to revolt more and more. So what about us? Nah, man, they're going to get right. You're kicking the pricks. You're going against the grain. And I'm talking to myself first, because this message of which we were speaking on to even inspire me to do this was all in the spirit of me being guilty of that myself. Now, if I dedicate myself over here and you know what, man? As the bishop said, my elders said in this camp, hey, man, put yourself first, man. And that's not wicked. That's being righteous. Because at the end of the day, your woman's not going to be the reason you get saved. Your mother, your father. But see, these relationships, and specifically, and I'm going to say this, I know I'm rambling because I'm driving, but in the spirit, you gotta cast off all of these imaginations of the world, man. This world has told us you ain't a man if you don't do this, if you don't do that. A real man would do this or do that, right? That's bullshit. All right, you're not a real man if you're not walking in the stead of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and of an Israelite. Okay? Period. So there's nowhere in the scriptures where the Lord said you're not a real man if you ain't paying no fucking bills. What happens when you can't pay bills no more? What happens when bills are a thing of the past? Does that just mean that you're not a man? Another one of my favorite rappers, he said, don't put a dollar sign on your confidence. Right? Because you put a dollar sign on it, that means when you got a little bit of money, you feel good. When your money down, you feel bad. So your spirit can be it can be changed according to a dollar amount. All right. So we got to basically accept the good and accept the bad. We have to be able to understand. This is what conversation I'm having is really a spirit of understanding. This is the bitters. See, it's easy to be dealing with the honey. I'll give you an example. The honey of, oh yeah, we're Israelite men. Our culture is supposed to have multiple wives. That's honey. You know what bitter is? The woman that you love and you care about and would die for, kind of having this off, like, indifferent spirit towards you, and however that is. But that's just the reality of it. Okay? Because we're in these curses, we're in this predicament. It's so many things. So again, like I said, I don't want to ramble too much. I'm about to close up here. I just wanted to speak on, understanding prophecy, understanding and putting our expectations of these people around us in this proper place as we see ourselves approaching the day of the Lord, that terrible day of the Lord. Like I said, betrayal is a major thing in the scriptures. So to think that you wouldn't be betrayed is really pride. And I used the quote of Fabulous earlier because the truth of the matter is, an enemy can't really backstab you. Your enemy can't betray you. Here it is. This is a nigga you don't fuck with. You would never say, yo, I never fuck with that nigga. He betrayed me. That doesn't even make sense. Betrayal comes from you having an expectation of somebody and them going against it. I feel betrayed. I expected you to be loyal to me, but then you weren't. That's betrayal. You never expect your enemies to be loyal to you. So ask yourself, who would hurt you? Where would that pain come? If Esau rolled on some people around you and put pressure on them to sell you out, right? Where would that hurt come from? You expecting loyalty from an ex-girlfriend? Think about that. Or are you expecting that loyalty from a woman that you're with? So again, we gotta deal with the bitter reality of where we are. As we see these days approaching, we gotta remember that things who's with you right now could really be truly against you. Remember the scriptures say a man's foes shall be them of his own household. Because a foe, who the fuck cares about a nigga that you don't fuck with? If you don't fuck with him and he do some grimy shit to you, then that's just a nigga that don't fuck with you doing some grimy shit. But if that friend of yours, that childhood friend or that family member or your father, your mother, you wouldn't expect it. But, in these times, man, you should always expect the unexpected, man. And deal with it according to knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Deal with it according to the spirit. Don't deal with these things carnally. Because carnally, I have you all jacked up. All right? Hey, so with that, I want to close this up. I want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors unto my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and safety to all the sincere Akim that's out here pushing this word, truth and sincerity. Shalom.